Hello and welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this story. I'm going to try and upload a new story each day. The Tenebrous Timepiece Elias was a master clockmaker renowned for his exquisite craftsmanship and intricate designs. He had a passion for creating timepieces that were not only functional but also beautiful and artistic. He had spent years perfecting his skills, studying the secrets of horology and experimenting with various materials and mechanisms. One day, he received a mysterious commission from a wealthy and eccentric patron. The patron requested a unique timepiece that could alter the flow of time according to the user's will. He offered Elias a generous sum of money and a rare collection of antique clocks as a reward. Elias was intrigued by the challenge and accepted the commission. He set to work in his workshop, using his finest tools and materials. He crafted a large and ornate clock with a circular face and a wooden frame. He engraved intricate patterns and symbols on the surface and embedded precious stones and metals. He installed a complex mechanism inside, consisting of gears, springs, levers, and wires. He also added a secret feature, a hidden switch that could activate the time-altering function. He tested the clock and was amazed by its performance. It kept perfect time and showed the date, the moon phase, and the zodiac sign. It also emitted a soft and soothing chime every hour. He flipped the hidden switch and watched as the clock's hands began to move faster or slower, depending on his preference. He felt a surge of power and pride as he realized he had created a masterpiece. He packed the clock carefully and delivered it to his patron. The patron was delighted with the clock and paid Elias the agreed amount. He also gave him the collection of antique clocks as a bonus. Elias thanked him and left, feeling satisfied and happy. He returned to his workshop and unpacked the antique clocks. He admired their beauty and craftsmanship and felt a sense of awe and respect for their makers. He decided to keep them in his workshop as a source of inspiration and admiration. He continued his work, creating more clocks and watches for his customers. He soon forgot about the time-altering clock and the patron who commissioned it. He did not know that the patron had a sinister motive for wanting the clock. He did not know that the patron was a member of a secret cult that worshipped an ancient and evil god. He did not know that the patron planned to use the clock to unleash a terrible curse upon the world. The patron placed the clock in his mansion in a secret chamber. He performed a dark ritual, invoking the name of his god and sacrificing a human victim. He then activated the clock's hidden function and set the hands to move backwards. He watched as the clock began to reverse the flow of time and opened a portal to another dimension. He smiled wickedly as he saw the portal widen and reveal a horrific sight, a realm of darkness and chaos, where twisted and monstrous creatures roamed. He heard a voice in his mind, a voice that praised him for his service and promised him eternal power and glory. He felt a surge of ecstasy and madness as he prepared to enter the portal and join his god. Meanwhile, Elias was working in his workshop, unaware of the impending doom. He was polishing a new watch when he heard a loud and piercing scream. He looked up and saw a flash of light outside his window. He ran to the window and saw a scene of horror. The sky was dark and stormy, and the streets were filled with people running and screaming. He saw buildings collapse and catch fire, and cars crash and explode. He saw blood and bodies everywhere and creatures that defied description. He saw the clock tower, where he had installed a large and elegant clock that he was proud of. He saw the clock's face crack and shatter, and the hands stop and fall. He felt a wave of fear and confusion as he realized that something terrible had happened. He grabbed his coat and ran outside, hoping to find a way to escape. He dodged the debris and the creatures and made his way to the clock tower. He hoped to find some clues or answers there, or at least a safe place to hide. He reached the tower and entered the door. He climbed the stairs and reached the top floor where the clock was. He saw the broken clock and felt a pang of sadness and anger. He wondered who or what had done this, and why. He looked around and saw a small and dusty room filled with old and dusty books. He recognized them as books on horology and occultism and felt a surge of curiosity and suspicion. He decided to investigate and see if he could find any useful information. He picked up a book and opened it. He saw a title that caught his eye, The Tenebrous Timepiece, a forbidden tome of time and magic. He felt a chill run down his spine as he realized that the book was about the clock he had made. He read the book and learned the truth. The clock was a cursed object that had the power to alter the flow of time, but also to unleash a terrible evil. The book explained that the clock was created by a mad and evil wizard who wanted to use it to summon his dark lord and destroy the world. The wizard was stopped and killed by a brave and noble knight who managed to destroy the clock and seal the portal. The knight then hid the book and the clock's remains, hoping that they would never be found again. Elias felt a shock and a horror as he realized that he had unknowingly recreated the clock and given it to a cultist. He cursed himself for his ignorance and arrogance, and blamed himself for the catastrophe. He wondered if there was any way to undo the damage and stop the apocalypse. He continued to read the book and found a glimmer of hope. The book mentioned a way to reverse the clock's effect and close the portal. The book said that the clock could be reset by using a special key that was hidden in a secret location. The book also said that the key could only be used by the clock's maker, and that the maker had to sacrifice his life to activate the key. Elias felt a mix of fear and courage as he realized that he was the only one who could save the world. He decided to take the risk and try to find the key. He searched the book and found a clue. The book said that the key was hidden in a place where time stood still and where the maker's legacy was preserved. Elias thought hard and remembered a place that matched the description, the Museum of Horology, where some of his finest clocks and watches were displayed. He hoped that the museum was still intact and that the key was still there. He closed the book and put it in his pocket. He then ran out of the tower and headed to the museum. He reached the museum and saw that it was partially damaged, but still standing. He entered the museum and saw that it was empty and silent. He felt a sense of relief and nostalgia as he saw his creations on display. He admired their beauty and craftsmanship and felt a sense of pride and regret. He wished he could have spent more time on them and enjoyed them more. He then focused on his mission and looked for the key. He searched the museum and found a hidden door behind a large and elaborate clock. He opened the door and saw a small and dark room with a pedestal in the center. He saw a small and shiny object on the pedestal and recognized it as the key. He felt a surge of joy and hope as he grabbed the key and ran out of the room. He returned to the tower and climbed the stairs. He reached the top floor and saw the broken clock. He saw the portal and felt a wave of dread and disgust. He saw the patron and felt a burst of anger and hatred. He saw the patron standing near the portal, holding a knife and a human heart. He saw the patron chanting and laughing as he prepared to complete the ritual and enter the portal. He heard the voice of his god and felt a shock and a fear. He heard the voice say, "Welcome, my faithful servant. You have done well. You have brought me the final sacrifice. You have opened the way for me. You have earned your reward. Come, join me in my realm. Come, share my power and glory. Come, witness the end of this world and the dawn of a new one. Come." Now Elias felt a rage and a resolve as he decided to act. He shouted and ran towards the patron. He caught the patron off guard and tackled him to the ground. He wrestled the knife and the heart from the patron's hands and threw them away. He then punched the patron in the face and knocked him out. He then grabbed the key and inserted it into the clock. He turned the key and felt a jolt of pain and power. He saw the clock's hands begin to move forward and the portal begin to shrink. He heard the voice of his god and felt a thrill and a terror. He heard the voice say, "No, what have you done? You have betrayed me. You have ruined my plan. You have closed the gate. You have doomed yourself. You have angered me. You will pay for this. You will suffer. You will die. You will die." Elias felt a calm and a peace as he accepted his fate. He smiled and said, "I have done what I had to do. I have saved the world. I have redeemed myself. I have defied you. I have won. I have won." He then felt a sharp and sudden pain as the key exploded and sent shards of metal into his chest. He gasped and fell to the floor, bleeding profusely. He saw the patron lying next to him, unconscious and wounded. He saw the portal close and disappear, and the clock stop and fall silent. He saw the sky clear and brighten, and the creatures vanish and die. He saw the people emerge and cheer, and the world heal and recover. He felt a warmth and a light as he closed his eyes and drifted away. He opened his eyes and saw a different scene, a beautiful and peaceful garden, filled with flowers and trees. He saw a fountain and a bench, and a large and elegant clock. He saw a man and a woman sitting on the bench and holding hands. He recognized them as his parents who had died when he was young. He felt a joy and a love as he ran towards them and hugged them. They smiled and welcomed him and told him they were proud of him. They told him he had done a great deed and saved many lives. They told him he had fulfilled his destiny and earned his reward. They told him he had arrived in heaven and joined them in eternal bliss. He smiled and thanked them and felt a peace and a happiness. He looked at the clock and saw that it was the same clock he had made for the patron. He wondered how it had ended up here and what it meant. He asked his parents and they told him the truth. The clock was a divine instrument that had been entrusted to him by God. They told him that God had chosen him to be the clock's maker and the world's savior. They told him that God had guided him and protected him and given him the skills and the courage to create and use the clock. They told him that God had rewarded him and brought him here and given him the clock as a gift. They told him that the clock was now harmless and harmless and that it only showed the time and the date. They told him that the clock was a symbol of his legacy and his glory and that it would always remind him of his achievement and his sacrifice. He felt awe and a gratitude as he realized that he had been part of a divine plan. He thanked God and praised him and felt a faith and a devotion. He looked at the clock and saw that it was showing the time and the date of his death, 11:59 p.m., January 10, 2024. He felt a sadness and a nostalgia as he remembered his life and his work. He wished he could have lived longer and created more clocks and watches. He wished he could have seen more of the world and met more people. He wished he could have loved and been loved and had a family and friends. He then felt a comfort and a hope as he realized that he had not wasted his life and that he had left a positive mark on the world. He realized that he had been loved and respected and that he had a family and friends here. He realized that he had more time and opportunities and that he could create and explore more in heaven. He realized that he had found and given love and that he had a partner and a soulmate here. He looked at his parents and saw that they were smiling and nodding. They told him they had a surprise for him and that they wanted him to meet someone. They pointed to the fountain and he saw a woman standing there. He saw that she was beautiful and graceful and that she had a kind and gentle face. He saw that she was holding a watch and a rose and that she was smiling and waving. He felt a curiosity and attraction as he wondered who she was and what she wanted. He walked towards her and she greeted him. She told him her name was Eliza and that she was his soulmate. She told him that she had been waiting for him and that she had watched him and admired him. She told him that she had loved him and that she had prayed for him. She told him that she had died and that she had come here. She told him that she had received a watch and a rose from God and that they were symbols of their love and their bond. She told him that the watch was the same watch he had made for her and that it was showing the time and the date of their meeting, 12:00, January 11, 2024. She told him that the rose was a sign of their beauty and their passion and that it would never wilt or fade. She told him that she was his partner and his companion and that she would always be with him and support him. She told him that she was his lover and his wife, and that she would always love him and cherish him. He felt a shock and a wonder as he realized that she was the woman he had made the watch for. He remembered that he had made a watch for a young and lovely lady who had visited his workshop and commissioned it. He remembered that he had felt a spark and a connection, and that he had wanted to see her again. He remembered that he had delivered the watch to her, and that she had thanked him and kissed him. He remembered that he had asked her for her name and number, and that she had promised to call him. He remembered that he had never heard from her, and that he had wondered what had happened to her. He learned the truth. She had died in a car accident on her way to see him. She had died with his watch on her wrist and his name on her lips. She had died with love in her heart and hope in her eyes. He felt a sorrow and a regret as he realized that he had lost her and that he had missed his chance. He wished he could have seen her and talked to her. He wished he could have dated her and courted her. He wished he could have married her and lived with her. He then felt a joy and a relief as he realized that he had found her and that he had a second chance. He thanked God and blessed him, and felt the grace and the mercy. He looked at her and saw that she was holding his hand and looking into his eyes. He felt the love and a happiness as he realized that she was his soulmate and that he was hers. He told her his name was Elias and that he was her soulmate. He told her that he had been waiting for her and that he had watched her and admired her. He told her that he had loved her and that he had hoped for her. He told her that he had died and that he had come here. He told her that he had received a clock and a rose from God, and that they were symbols of their love and their bond. He told her that the clock was the same clock he had made for the patron, and that it was showing the time and the date of their meeting. He told her that the rose was a sign of their beauty and their passion, and that it would never wilt or fade. He told her that he was her partner and her companion, and that he would always be with her and support her. He told her that he was her lover and her husband, and that he would always love her and cherish her. She smiled and kissed him, and felt a love and a happiness. He smiled and kissed her back, and felt a love and a happiness. They hugged and held each other, and felt a love and a happiness. They looked at the clock and the watch, and saw that they were showing the same time and the date 12:1 m, January 11, 2024. They looked at the roses and saw that they were blooming and shining, and that they were the same color and scent. They looked at their parents and saw that they were smiling and clapping, and that they were happy and proud. They looked at God and saw that he was nodding and blessing, and that he was pleased and gracious. They looked at each other and saw that they were perfect and complete, and that they were happy and in love. They lived happily ever after in heaven. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to like, and even better, like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I hope you have had or have a great day.